There is a curious thing about being a human. We arrive here suddenly, thrown into this world as if shot from a cannon, and almost immediately we're being asked the great question: why? Why am I here? Why this life? Why these people? Why this suffering? Why this joy? And perhaps the difficulty begins because we imagine ourselves as separate creatures, dropped into an alien universe rather than expressions of the universe itself. You see, in the same way that an apple tree apples, the universe peoples. You are not a stranger here. You are something the whole cosmos is doing, in the same way a wave is something the whole ocean is doing. And so there is this old idea found in many traditions that before birth, before entering this earthly drama, the soul participates in a kind of agreement. Not in the sense of a legal contract signed with grim seriousness, but more like an actor willingly entering a play. And because consciousness wishes to know itself completely, it does not choose only pleasure. It chooses heartbreak. It chooses confusion. It chooses ecstasy. It chooses loss. It chooses birth and death and love and terror and astonishment. For what would light mean without darkness? If you could only ever feel pleasure, eventually pleasure itself would disappear into the noise. You would no longer know it as pleasure at all. And so existence dances as opposites, up and down, black and white, self and other, joy and sorrow. This is what the Hindus called Leela, the cosmic play, the universe playing hide and seek with itself. And you are one of the places where the universe has temporarily forgotten who it is. That forgetting is the entire game. Because underneath the mask you call me, underneath your name, your history, your anxieties, your ambitions, there is something immeasurably ancient. Not your ego, not your social role, but awareness itself. The deep I am. And when you begin to awaken to this, you realize something extraordinary. The boundary between yourself and the world is not merely as fixed as you imagined. We look into space and say, there is empty darkness between the stars. But is it empty? Or is that vastness itself alive? Modern physics tells us the universe is not made of separate things, but of relationships, vibrations, interconnected fields. Mystics have been saying essentially the same thing for thousands of years, that all things are fundamentally one process. And so the energy beating your heart is not separate from the energy burning in the stars. The breath moving through your lungs was once the breath of forests, oceans, animals, ancient creatures. You are not in the universe. You are the universe happening as a person. And every person you meet is another face of the same mystery. Which changes the whole nature of morality, doesn't it? Because then kindness is not a commandment, it is simple sanity. To harm another is, in a very real sense, to harm yourself. To love another is to recognize yourself in disguise. And this is why all genuine spiritual teaching eventually arrives at the same place. Not belief, not dogma, but awareness. If you wish for the world to become more loving, you must become more loving. Because you are not separate from the world. You are participating in its creation at every moment. The angry person contributes anger to the human field. The frightened person contributes fear. The peaceful person contributes peace. So the real revolution is not merely political or technological. It is psychological, spiritual. It is the awakening of human consciousness to its own true nature. And perhaps that is what we are doing here. Not merely surviving, but gradually remembering that behind all our masks, all our suffering, all our marvelous absurdity, we are the universe awakening to itself.